Last summer, I offered to pay for my son's wedding. Not because I had to, but because I actually wanted to. That's the messed up part. I'm Marcus, 57, former Marine, gym owner now. I've been through deployments, lost buddies overseas, watched men scream for their mothers while bleeding out, and somehow, none of that broke me like this damn wedding did. My son Elijah, he's 28, podcaster, kinda cocky, but talented. Been through a lot since his mom bailed on us when he was 6. One day she was making banana pancakes in the kitchen. Next day, she's finding herself in California with a yoga instructor named Blake. Yeah, that kind of mom. I raised Elijah by myself. Sleepless nights, missed workouts, working doubles just to get him sneakers and pay for therapy when he started having nightmares. No child support, no birthday cards, just me. And yet, none of that mattered in the end. A year ago, Elijah called me, said he was getting married to a woman named Tia. I remember smiling so wide my face hurt. Tia was amazing funny, grounded, had a real job as a trauma therapist. She was the best thing that ever happened to him. I told him, whatever you guys need, I got you. And I meant it. The whole 9 yards venue, food, decor, photographer, cake, even those stupid custom Nikes Elijah wanted for his groomsmen. $58, $320 total. Yes, I kept track. I'm ex-military. I track everything. Everything seemed good. Tia would send me pics of color palettes. Elijah would text me venue options. We had a whole Pinterest board together. For the first time in years. It felt like maybe we were healing. Maybe he finally saw what I'd done for him. Maybe we'd walk out of this stronger. That was my first mistake, expecting something back. 4 weeks before the wedding, my cousin Rachel texted me. Casual as hell. Hey, weird question, but why aren't you on the guest list? Thought you were paying. Wait, what? I laughed at first. Thought she was joking. Then I called the wedding planner. The planner hesitated. Told me she'd have to double check with the bride and groom before sharing anything. I was paying her damn invoice. I pushed hard, military voice, command tone. She broke. She emailed me the guest list. My name wasn't on it. Neither was my wife Jenna's. But guess who was on it? Parental escort, Denise S., mother of groom. Yeah, her. The woman who dipped when Elijah was still learning multiplication tables. The woman who told me, "You raise him. I need to chase my spirit. Want to know the cherry on top?" Under father-son dance, it said Blake, the yoga dude. What the actual F asterisk asterisk K? I called Elijah immediately. He didn't answer. Sent him texts. Nothing. I figured maybe he was overwhelmed with planning. So I drove to his apartment, the one I helped them afford until he got a couple sponsors for his podcast. Tia answered the door. She looked uncomfortable. Marcus, now's not a good time. I wasn't having it. Why the hell am I not on the guest list? I'm paying for the whole damn thing. That's when Elijah stepped out from behind her. He looked straight at me and said, "Because I don't want you there." I felt my legs go numb. You think throwing money at everything makes you a dad, he continued. All you ever gave me was stress and protein shakes. Blake actually listens. You ever been punched in the chest without anyone touching you? That's what it felt like. I wanted to yell, "Throw something!" Cry. But instead, I just stood there, hearing this grown-ass man talk about me like I was the absentee parent. You were never family, Dad. You were just the wallet. That night, I didn't sleep. Just stared at the ceiling while Jenna sat next to me in silence. I didn't even have the energy to talk. I kept thinking about the therapy bills, the school fees, the first time I held him after Denise left, the time I sat in a police station at 2 a.m. because he got into a fight at a bar, the pills I found in his sock drawer when he was 17, the night he cried because he thought he caused his mom to leave. I was there. I was asterisk asterisk king there. But I guess that didn't count because I don't do deep talks and burning sage. Next morning, the wedding planner sent another invoice. Line 37, chocolate fountain, $1, 500. Line 42, vows printed on handmade linen, $800. Line 59, security detail, $2,000, to ensure non-invited family doesn't show up. I swear I felt something snap in my chest. And that was the moment I knew I wasn't going to be erased quietly. If I was just the checkbook, fine. But I'd closed the ***King account. I didn't cancel everything that morning. At first, I just stared at the screen. I opened the invoice again and reread line 59 security detail to prevent disruption from non-invited family. Screw that! You want to erase me, cool, but you're not using my cash to build the bonfire and hand me the lighter. So I made a coffee, sat down at the kitchen island. Jenna came in, still in her robe, and asked, "You okay?" I just handed her my phone. Let her read the invoice. She didn't say a word for a full minute. Then she whispered, "Wow." I nodded. Yeah. Wow. Jenna's not the emotional one in our marriage. That's supposed to be my job, being soft, staying open. She's the practical one. But in that moment, she put her hand on mine and said the most dangerous words anyone could say to me right then. Do what you have to do. And with that, the mission started. First thing I did was call the venue. The manager was some chipper lady named Rebecca. I introduced myself as the one who paid the $15,000 deposit. She got real professional, real quick. "Oh yes, Mr. Samuels, everything's moving along great. We have the floral arch scheduled for install next Friday." I cut her off. "Yeah, no, I want to cancel." Pause. "I'm sorry." I said I want to cancel. Full shutdown. I'll eat the deposit if I have to. Another pause. Longer this time. "Sir, can I ask what happened?" Normally, I wouldn't say asterisk it, but something in her tone, genuine concern, not fake customer service, made me talk. So I told her, straight up, my son cut me out of the wedding. His mother, who abandoned him for 2 decades, is walking him down the aisle. I'm not even allowed at the damn event, but somehow I'm still footing the bill. Rebecca was quiet for a second. Then she said, "You're not the first dad to call me with something like this. I'm really sorry, Mr. Samuels. Let me process the cancellation for you." No questions asked. I almost cried. Almost. Next, I hit the caterers. This was the same company Elijah and I sampled mini tacos and sliders with 3 weeks earlier. Guy had no idea I wasn't invited. Sounded genuinely confused. Wait, you're not going to the wedding?" "Nope." "But you're the one who—" "Yep." He offered to refund whatever hadn't been cooked or prepped yet. I said, "Great, do that." Then I hit the photographer, the flower people, the DJ. The DJ was hilarious. "Bro, what the hell? I just ordered the LED floor panels." "Yeah, cancel them." "Dude, they're personalized with his name. It says Elijah plus Tia forever in a ***King cursive." I actually laughed for the first time in 2 days. "Put it on eBay." Jenna sat beside me for all of it. She didn't speak much, just slid me sticky notes with names, numbers, and notes like deposit refundable, if 14 days notice, or confirm cancellation via email. It felt like war. But instead of grenades, I had spreadsheets and contracts. I didn't touch the wedding planner yet. That was going to be the final move. Let him keep planning. I wanted him to show up on the big day and realize the Emperor had no chairs, no lights, and no goddamn gluten-free cake. Petty maybe. Necessary, absolutely. That night, I drank a beer on the back porch while Jenna lit a citronella candle and said, "So what happens now?" I stared at the fire pit. Now we wait. The next morning, my phone blew up. Blocked number, voicemail, texts, all from Elijah. The voicemails started reasonable. "Dad, what's going on? The DJ said you pulled funding. Can we talk?" Then they turned, less reasonable. "I can't believe you'd sabotage my wedding. You're a child. You've always been a child. By message 6, he was unhinged. This is why Mom left. Because you make everything about you. You're emotionally abusive, controlling. You're a hef*** king narcissist. That one stung. I won't lie. I sat there with that one for a while. Read it like 10 times. Wondering, was I... Then Jenna walked in, holding her phone. Tia just messaged me. I looked up. She says she didn't know you weren't invited. She thought it was a misunderstanding. I blinked. Wait, what? Apparently Elijah told her you couldn't make it because of work. My blood boiled. He was lying to everyone. To me, to Tia, to her family, probably even to Blake and Denise. My son wasn't just cutting me out. He was crafting a version of me to justify it. One where I was cold, uncaring, absent. Ironically, just like the parent he'd invited in my place. 3 days later, I got an email from the wedding planner. Hi, Marcus. I noticed we haven't received the final payment for the photo booth, stage lighting, or signature cocktail bar. Just checking to see if we're still greenlit for Saturday. I didn't reply. He followed up, and again. And again, I let every message sit in my inbox like rotting fruit. Let them feel the anxiety. Let them call Elijah and realize there was no plan. That he was walking into a ballroom that was never prepped. No chairs, no tables, no electricity. Just cold tile and expensive silence. I should probably mention I did leave one thing intact. The DJ's login to the speaker system. I paid that invoice in full, because sometimes revenge doesn't need a speech. Sometimes it just needs a song, and I had already picked one. Track 1, Father of Mine by Everclear. Track 2, Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City. Track 3, audio clips of my voicemails, Elijah ignored, spliced between sad violin transitions. Cruel, maybe? But you don't call someone just a wallet and expect balloons and brunch. On Friday, I took Jenna to dinner. Italian place. Wine, breadsticks. Real good marinara. While the planner was probably freaking out about no linens, I was biting into veal parmesan. I watched Jenna laugh at a joke I made about her mom's cat. And for a moment I felt peace. Not happiness, not victory, not even closure. Just peace. Like the kind of calm you feel when you finally stopped begging to be seen. Saturday came. We stayed home. Phones off. TV on low. I didn't want to see the meltdown live. I wanted it to come to me secondhand. Around noon, my niece texted me. It's chaos. Venue locked. No staff. Tia crying. Elijah yelling at security. At 2 p.m., she sent a video. Elijah in his suit, trying to scale the venue's back gate. Mud all over his pants. Denise nowhere to be seen. Apparently, Blake bailed the night before, caught a flight to Costa Rica with some woman named Carissa. Of course. I watched the clip twice, then put the phone down. Took a deep breath, and whispered to myself. You wanted to play pretend, so I gave you the props. You just didn't read the fine print. I was never part of this play. 3 days. That's how long it took for the fallout to really kick in. Not minutes, not hours. 3 full days before the call shifted from, what the hell did you do, to okay, maybe we need to talk. The first ones were brutal. My mom drove 3 hours to show up at my front door, fists clenched, eyes already watering. Marcus, you ruined your son's wedding. No hi. No how are you. Just straight accusations like I'd set the damn venue on fire myself. Jenna tried to intercept her, but my mom waved her off like a wasp. I want to speak to him. So I stood there and listened while she unloaded. Family doesn't do this to family. I don't care what he said. You're the adult. You're supposed to be the bigger person, not this petty bullshit. That one stung, but what really got me was my dad. He just stood behind her on the porch, hands in his jacket pockets. Quiet. The kind of quiet that says, you let me down. I hated that more than any yelling. I tried to explain, told them what Elijah had said, how he'd cut me out, replaced me with Denise like I was the deadbeat. I told them about the voicemails, the lies, the security guard line item in the invoice. My mom crossed her arms. He's just confused. Marcus? Confused? Are you kidding me? I looked at her. Confused people don't book security to keep their fathers out. That shut her up for half a beat. But only half. Well, even so, you embarrassed him in front of all his friends, his in-laws. Oh, and I was just supposed to write the checks and smile from outside the window. Yes, she snapped. That's what parents do. We sacrifice. We don't sabotage. I didn't respond. I just opened the door wider and said, you can stay or you can go, but I'm done getting yelled at in my own damn house. They left. Of course they did. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling again. Just like I did after the guest list bombshell. Jenna turned toward me, whispered, You okay? Not even a little. I said. She rubbed my arm. Good, means you still care. And yeah, I did. More than I wanted to admit. The next wave was social media. Screenshots, posts, TikToks, Instagram stories. Apparently Elijah had gone full PR mode, painting himself as the victim of an abusive, bitter father who couldn't handle being replaced. He made it sound like I crashed the wedding and threw chairs around. Spoiler, I was on my damn couch eating cheese puffs. But that didn't stop people from coming for me in the comments. This is why some parents don't deserve contact. Imagine your own dad sabotaging your wedding just because he's jealous. That's not a father. That's a wallet with Wi-Fi. Clever, cruel, completely made up. I lost 2 gym clients who said they didn't feel comfortable being around that kind of energy. My niece's boyfriend unfollowed me. Who gives a shit, right? But still. Even my old college buddy Mike, who's been divorced 3 times, texted me. Bro, not gonna lie, you went nuclear. That's not parenting. That's ego. I almost replied with cool talk coming from a guy who left his kid in a mall once. But I deleted it. Didn't have the energy for a full-blown clapback tour. By the end of the week, I was fully convinced I'd gone too far. And then something weird happened. People started texting. Apologies. First was Tia. She messaged Jenna again, asked if we could talk, said she finally understood. Apparently, after the wedding blew up, she'd started piecing things together. Elijah had lied to her about me working during the wedding, lied about who paid, lied about the security thing, lied to everyone. She told Jenna he'd spent the last few weeks gaslighting her, saying it was self-care to cut me out, that I'd traumatized him with discipline and toxic masculinity. Meanwhile, she had screenshots of me sending him encouragement, offering to pay for couples therapy when they were struggling, even sending gift cards when she got laid off during COVID. She said he'd rewritten history, and now she was starting to wonder how much of their entire relationship was built on sand. Then came the big one. Ben. Yeah, Ben, the best man. Out of nowhere, he showed up at my gym. I was mid-session with a client when he walked in, looking like he hadn't slept in days. Eyes red, shoulders slumped, suit wrinkled. I wrapped up early and sat down with him. Look, he said, I don't know if this is weird or not, but I just needed to tell you something. Okay, I thought you were the problem. For months, Elijah made you sound like this controlling, toxic dad who tried to force him into the military and flipped when he didn't. I laughed bitterly. I never even suggested the military. I know, he said. Tia told me. He looked down at his hands, picked at a scab on his knuckle. I feel like an idiot. I watched him treat you like crap and just nodded along. I'm sorry. Why now? Because now he's treating me the same way, blaming everyone, refusing to take any ownership. He paused. I think he's unraveling, and honestly, I wasn't surprised. That same night, Tia called, not Jenna, me. She asked if I'd meet her at a coffee shop near her office. I went, out of curiosity, out of some residual hope that not everyone in this story had lost their damn minds. She was sitting at a small table by the window, wearing a gray hoodie and no makeup. She looked tired, real tired. When I sat down, she said, "Thank you." For what? For pulling the plug, for showing me who he really is. Apparently, after the venue disaster, Elijah spiraled, started accusing her of being in on it, said she set him up, called her manipulative. He even told her parents that she had cold feet and sabotaged the wedding as a cry for help. It was like he couldn't admit to himself that maybe he caused this, she said. So he made up a version where everyone else was out to get him. I sipped my coffee. Bitter, too much cream. "Welcome to my last 15 years, I said. She smiled, sadly, then pulled out a manila folder. Inside were printed emails, screenshots, texts. All proof that I'd paid for every major part of the wedding. "I'm sending these to everyone," she said. "Your family, the people he lied to. I'm not going to let him drag your name through the dirt." I didn't say anything for a second. Then I whispered, "You didn't have to do that." "I know," she said, "but you did, for me, for him, even, and you got screwed for it." Driving home, I cried. Not like sobbing, but the kind of cry where your chest tightens and your throat gets hot, and suddenly your windshield gets blurry and you're not sure if it's the weather or your own body betraying you. I pulled over, just sat there on the side of the road, hand gripping the wheel, heart pounding. This wasn't how I pictured any of this going. I never wanted revenge. I wanted a seat at the damn table. I wanted to walk my son into the next chapter of his life with pride. Instead, I burned the whole F***King venue down. When I got home, Jenna was waiting on the porch. Didn't ask where I'd been, just handed me a blanket and a bowl of soup and said, "Let's sit." So we sat. Didn't talk. Didn't need to. The quiet felt earned this time, like I'd finally run out of reasons to explain myself. I don't know what comes next. Maybe Elijah will call. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll figure it out. Maybe he'll double down. But I know this. I'm done begging to be included in the lives I helped build. If they want to rewrite history, fine, but I won't fund the book tour. 2 weeks passed. Silence. I don't mean no chaos. I mean absolute ghost town silence. No texts, no calls, not even spam emails from the planner asking for his damn balance. It was like the whole wedding disaster detonated and everyone just evacuated. At first, it was nice, peaceful. I sat on the back porch with Jenna every evening, played a little more guitar, grilled some steaks. We even started binging that stupid cooking competition show where nobody actually cooks, just yells about soufflés and sabotages each other. But eventually, that silence started to feel loud, heavy. You know how people say, no news is good news? Yeah, that's BS. Sometimes no news means the other shoe's still dangling, just waiting to drop. Then it dropped. Or, I should say, she dropped. One morning, I was sorting through mail when I saw a plain white envelope. No return address. Just my name written in handwriting I hadn't seen in over a decade. I froze. Jenna saw me gripping the envelope like it might explode. "You okay?" "Yeah, just..." I turned it over. "It's from Denise." She blinked. "Wait, Denise. Yep." I opened it right there on the kitchen counter. No greeting, no sign-off, just 5 sentences scribbled in blue ink on lined paper. "I don't blame you for what happened. Elijah made his choices. I only came back because he asked. He wanted a version of me that never existed. And now he hates us both for not being able to deliver. That was it." No apology, no explanation. Just an admission. Cold, flat, almost clinical. I laughed. Not because it was funny, just because what else do you even do at that point? "Denise, The woman who dipped out of her kid's life for 2 decades like it was a bad party. Writing me to say, oops, guess the fantasy didn't pan out. Thanks. Denise really cleared that up. That night, Jenna and I sat in bed reading old emails from Elijah, back when he still called me Dad, not Marcus. One from middle school. Thanks for the new cleats. I'll score for you on Saturday 1 from his first internship. Guess who just landed the job? Couldn't have done it without you. God, those emails hurt more than the recent ones. Because back then, he still saw me. He still wanted me. I turned off the iPad and lay back against the pillows. Was I too hard on him, I asked? Jenna didn't answer immediately. She turned off her bedside light, slid her hand into mine. I think you were real with him, she said finally. The world doesn't love kids who can't hear no. You taught him accountability. He just decided he didn't want it. I squeezed her fingers. I still feel like I failed him. You didn't fail him. He rejected you. There's a difference. A week later, I ran into someone unexpected. I was picking up dry cleaning when I heard a voice behind me. Marcus. I turned around and nearly dropped my bag. It was Elijah's high school therapist, Dr. Lang, the guy who helped him through the panic attacks, the weed stuff, the late-night anxiety spirals. He was wearing jeans and a zip-up hoodie. Totally different from his old cardigan and tie aesthetic. Wow, I said, Dr. Lang, hey. We shook hands. He gave me that look therapists do when they're scanning your emotional state without being obvious. I've been meaning to reach out, he said. Saw what had happened online. I raised an eyebrow. Of course you did. My entire life's a TikTok comment section now. He chuckled softly. People love drama, especially when it's not theirs. I nodded. Tell me about it. Then he paused, looked straight at me. You want to know what I think? Shoot. Elijah's been crafting villains since he was 15. Back then, it was his teachers. Then it was his coaches. Then his girlfriends. Now it's you. That hit hard, he continued. Every time something doesn't go his way, he assigns blame externally. He's got this deeply rooted fear of being inadequate, so he creates a version of the world where he's the victim of other people's failings. I let that sit for a minute. Yeah, I muttered. Checks out. Dr. Lang handed me a business card. If he ever reaches out again, I'd be willing to work with him. But only if he wants to change. I slipped it into my wallet. No idea if I'd ever use it. But still, felt like something. Then, out of nowhere, boom, Kay showed up. Kay, my goddaughter, Denise's niece. One of the few people who used to babysit Elijah and actually liked hanging out with him. She messaged me on Facebook, asked if we could grab lunch, said she had something she needed to say face to face. So we met at this old diner we used to hit after church back in the day. Booths still smelled like syrup and desperation. Perfect setting. She slid into the booth, ordered fries and a milkshake like she was 12 again. Then she got quiet. I saw what happened. Yeah, guess everyone is... She nodded. I also saw the voicemails he posted. Tried to make you look crazy. I felt my jaw clench. He posted those... Yeah, edited them. Cut out everything but the yelling. Of course he did. Kay leaned forward. But I listened to the full versions. I found them. Your niece uploaded them in full on her account. I blinked. She did. Yep, the full versions are different. You sounded angry. Yeah, hurt. But not abusive. Just a dad who got blindsided. She pushed a napkin toward me. You're not crazy. You're not the villain. And for some reason, that napkin hit harder than any apology ever could. Later that night, Jenna and I sat on the patio. The air smelled like wet leaves and old charcoal. Classic fall. I think I'm ready, I said. For what? To stop chasing his version of me. Jenna nodded slowly. That's good. Doesn't mean I don't miss him. God, I do. Every damn day. I know. But I think I'm finally done apologizing for *T. I didn't do... Good, she whispered. You deserve to breathe. We sat in silence for a while, sipped whiskey, listened to some Sam Cooke on the Bluetooth speaker. I thought about Elijah's smile as a kid, the way he used to scream "Dad" when I walked in the door. I also thought about the security guards he hired to keep me out of his wedding. Both memories live in my head now. Neither one cancels the other out. That's just how it is. Next morning, I called the planner, told him to forward all remaining invoices to Elijah directly. He tried to play neutral, said something like, "I hope you all can come to some resolution." I laughed. There was a resolution. It was printed in the guest list. He shut up after that. I paid off one last floral deposit, out of respect for the vendor, and closed the wedding tab for good. Literally, deleted the folder off my desktop. Gone. Done. So what now? Now, I live. I work. I love my wife. I pet my dog. I still keep a box of Elijah's baby stuff in the attic. Still have the drawing he made in second grade that says, "My dad is my hero," with a stick figure holding a briefcase and a sandwich. But I don't check his social media anymore. Don't stalk his LinkedIn. Don't beg mutual friends for updates. I let the silence be the silence. Because sometimes love means letting go, even when it wasn't supposed to end this way. 3 weeks after I shut everything down, something shifted. Not with Elijah, not with the drama. That storm had already passed. It was something in me. I woke up one Thursday morning, sat on the edge of my bed, looked at the floor and thought, I'm tired of bleeding for people who sharpen the knife behind my back. And that wasn't anger. It wasn't spite. It was clarity. I cleaned out my office that afternoon, not in some symbolic movie moment way, just practical. Stacks of paperwork, half-filled planners, wedding contracts with Elijah's name. All of it went into a box labeled "Done" that I shoved to the back of the closet. Took down the old photo of him and me from the gym grand opening too. The one where we're smiling and he's throwing up peace signs. That fake smile. Gone. I replaced it with a picture of me and Jenna at the Grand Canyon, wind in her hair, both of us laughing so hard the picture came out blurry. Real joy. No posing. I felt 20 pounds lighter, and then came Joe. My older brother, aka family drama incarnate. He called me on a Sunday, left a voicemail that started with, "So, I guess you finally blew it all up, huh? Thanks for the sympathy, bro." I called him back anyway. Morbid curiosity, I guess. He answered with a sigh. "You know Mom thinks you need therapy now, right?" "I probably do," I said, "but not because of the wedding, because I'm related to you." He laughed. All right, truce. We talked for like an hour, mostly about nothing sports, work, aging parents. But then it shifted. "You know," he said, "I used to envy you." That caught me off guard. "You what?" "Yeah. You had the house, the business, the wife who doesn't hate you, the kid who, well, okay, that didn't pan out, but for a while there, it looked like you were winning. That's funny," I said, "'cause most days I felt like I was surviving, not winning." Joe sighed again. We all got our monsters. "Man, yours just wears a wedding dress and calls you Marcus's now." I didn't laugh, but damn, I appreciated the line. Before we hung up, he said, "Don't disappear. Okay, I know Thanksgiving's gonna be weird, but we're still your family, even if half of us are idiots." "Thanks," I said. "I'll bring the expensive bourbon. That should buy me at least 20 minutes of peace." A few days later, Jenna surprised me. She handed me an envelope with 2 plane tickets. No note, just the tickets. "We're going to Asheville," she said. "Cabin in the woods. No phones, no emails. Just you, me, and whatever's left of your sanity." I stared at her. "Is this a kidnapping?" "Yes," she deadpanned. "Accept it." I laughed. First real belly laugh in months. That weekend, we drove up to this gorgeous little Airbnb tucked between the trees. Big windows, fireplace, no Wi-Fi. At night, we drank wine and read books and played this old board game she dug out of a closet. No music, no TV, just quiet. Not the hollow, scary quiet that came after Elijah's wedding meltdown. A good kind. The kind where you remember who you were before everything broke. On the second night, I sat outside on the porch with a blanket wrapped around my shoulders. The stars were insane, like actual diamonds. It made everything feel small in the best way. Jenna came out and curled up next to me. "You think he'll ever come back?" she asked. "Maybe, and if he does." I thought for a long time. Then we start over. I said, not from scratch, but from wherever the truth picks up again. She didn't say anything, just leaned into me. That's the thing about love. Real love. It doesn't scream or post or guilt trip. It stays. Even when the people you made love for walk away. A week later, we got back home, and the first thing I saw in the mailbox was a letter addressed to Jenna. From Elijah, my heart stopped. She opened it slowly, read it, and handed it to me without a word. It said, "I don't hate you. I don't really hate Dad either. I just needed someone to blame for how empty I feel. But you're not that person. I know I hurt you. And maybe I don't deserve forgiveness, but I wanted to say I'm sorry for what I said. You were never the villain in my story. I just didn't want you to be the hero either. Not when I felt like the side character." I read it twice. 3 times. And then I cried again. Because there he was just for a second. Not the smug, self-righteous version who banned me from the venue, but the scared little boy who used to crawl into our bed after nightmares. I didn't write him back. Not yet. Jenna did. Just a short one. "Thank you. We're here when you're ready, but we're not chasing you anymore." Simple. Final. Fair? The day after that, I found something on my phone. I'd forgotten about a voice memo from 2 years ago. Me, practicing a speech I planned to give at Elijah's wedding, back before everything went to hell. It started like this. "Elijah, I've watched you become the man you are today, and I couldn't be prouder." I had to stop it. Too much. I deleted it. That version of the speech doesn't fit anymore. But I saved the ending of the note the last thing I said. No matter what happens, I'll always be the guy who shows up, even when you don't want me there. Maybe that's the real legacy we leave behind. Not perfection, not clean, shiny family photos, but scars, stories, and the stubborn, heartbroken love that shows up anyway. Even when the door's locked, even when they call you a villain, even when they choose someone else to walk them down the aisle. One night, Jenna asked if I wanted to light the old fire pit out back. It had been sitting there unused since last summer. I said sure. We tossed in old receipts, leftover wedding invoices, even the deposit contract from the venue, all of it. Burned clean. Ash and closure. Then we toasted marshmallows over the embers and talked about stupid stuff like where we'd retire or what we'd name a dog if we ever got another. I told her maybe I'd name it Boundaries. She laughed so hard she dropped her marshmallow. And you know what? I think I'm going to be okay. Not everything's perfect, okay? But I'm still here, okay? Still standing. Still trying. Still loving. But smarter now. Stronger. Not just the checkbook anymore. Not the doormat. Not the backup plan for broken people. I'm building my peace back piece by piece. And this time, no one's walking it down an aisle but me,